Guys, stick with this one. It's going to be a little bit of a longer video because we have a lot to break down here. This person says, Trump haters will never realize he came through with many items in his platform. Really? Yeah, that's news to us. Lower taxes, the wall, cut regulations, move the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem, USMCA, opportunity zones, energy independence. So, okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to break this down. Lowered taxes. How are your taxes now? He made corporate taxes permanent, corporate tax cuts permanent. He made the tax cuts for the upper earners permanent. Did he make yours permanent? No, he didn't. Why? Why, in his signature bill, the 2017 Trump tax cuts, did he not look out for you ahead of corporate billionaires? Why did he set yours to go back to where it was before the corporate tax giveaway, the 2017 Trump tax cuts, in incremental increments every 2 years? Why? Seems like a promise broken to me. The wall. What about it? Trump's wall. How much has been built during his term? This is from January 2021, right before he left office. The White House said his visit would mark the completion of more than 400 miles of border wall, Trump's visit to the southern border. A promise made, promise kept. So how much of the border wall has Trump managed to build during his term in office? Various types of fencing, totaling 654 miles, just over 1,000 kilometers, were already in place before Mr. Trump became president in 2017. The Trump administration say they've completed more than 400 miles of border wall since then. It's 452 miles in total, according to the latest CBP information. However, only 80 miles of new barriers have been built where there were no walls before, no barriers before. That includes 47 miles of primary wall and 33 miles of secondary wall built to reinforce the initial barrier. The vast majority of the 452 miles is replacing existing structure. So you say he kept his promise when it came to the wall. He promised he was going to build the wall. He didn't. He gave you 80 miles of new wall. He also told you Mexico was going to pay for that. They didn't. In January of 2018, Trump asked Congress to pay $18 billion over the next decade for an initial phase of construction. But the bill ultimately failed. Some money was allocated by Congress in 2018 for projects at the border. However, in 2019, Trump used national emergency powers to divert funds from the Department of Defense after Congress rejected more money for his wall. There was around $15 billion spent for the various construction barriers coming from various U.S. departments, including Department of Homeland Security and Department of Defense. It was originally estimated a cross-border wall could cost anything from $12 to $40 billion. So the initial estimate of his wall to begin with was $12 to $40 billion. He stole $15 billion from other departments after Congress wouldn't give him the money. And what did you get for $15 billion? 80 miles of new wall. Which one's next? Cut regulations. Yes, he did cut regulations. Almost 100 environmental rules alone. Cut back regulations concerning air pollution and emissions because who needs clean air, drilling and extraction because who needs clean land, infrastructure and planning because who needs safe infrastructure, animals because who needs to protect animals, water pollution because who needs clean water, toxic substances and safeties because, why the hell should we regulate people dealing with toxic substances? What's next? Move the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem. Who gives a fuck? Aren't you guys always telling us it's not our fucking problem what goes on over there? And you guys were so fucking concerned with where the embassy in Israel was that it became a main sticking point for you guys? USMCA. Oh, the trade deal. Yeah, the USMCA. The trade deal that replaced NAFTA. The one that he's currently trying to break. That trade deal says that you can't put tariffs on incoming products from Canada or Mexico if the companies are moving around from country to country. If an American company moves down to Mexico, you can't put a tariff on their product coming back. And it's in his own trade agreement. And now he's trying to break it. So the USMCA means absolutely nothing if you're simultaneously cheering on Trump's tariffs. Opportunity zones. All right, let's touch on that. From the Boston Review, the false promise of opportunity zones. In June of 2020, Donald Trump tweeted in characteristically hyperbolic style that his administration had done more for blacks, the black community, than any president since Abraham Lincoln. If you pause these pages and read each one of them, you're going to learn that his quote-unquote opportunity zones were a massive failure. It spurred investment building by millionaires, but it did shit to help the poor. The only people who had opportunities here were people who could build. So much for those goddamn opportunity zones. And then, of course, the last one is energy independence, which we all know we were not energy independent under Trump. I mean, it's been proven a million times. Go see Mr. Global's page. I could pull up 10,000 articles to show them to you. But, my guy, you started this comment by talking about how Trump came through with many items on his platform and then proceeded to list a whole shitload of stuff that he either didn't come through with or don't mean jack shit, like the Jerusalem embassy. Hey, he came through on all of these promises. He came through on one of those promises, the embassy. The rest of them are a failure. How do you not see this?